Guys, feast your eyes on the Bultaco Alpina 350. The name Alpina comes from guides of the Alps. That's what they call it, the mountains, and it's kind of a fitting name for a bike that was designed to climb mountains and trails. This bike was originally produced in 1972 and sold as a 73 model. Super ultra rare piece. They only made 2,400 of these, and less than 1,000 of them were imported to the US here. It also has this beautiful alpine blue and silver paint scheme with the yellow pinstripe. They took a lot of pride in the design of these bikes. Senior Bultaco himself, Billy Blythe, the rider, he, if you follow him on the channel, you know that he's a multi-time New England Trials champion, 5-time Isle of Man expert, and he's a resident Bultaco expert. So we'll have him tell you a little bit about it. What's happening, fellas? Hey, my media guy just printed this off today, and much to my dismay, 83% of the people watching the channel are not subscribed, only 16.7. And we also got over a dozen emails from subscribers saying they were magically unsubscribed from the channel. So we're not sure how that's happening, but do me a favor, just check and see if you are subscribed. It's a button right down there. Just hit the subscribe button. It's very easy to do. You don't have to fill anything out. Just hit the button. Maybe you hit it inadvertently with your finger and unsubscribe, but it helps us grow the channel. I promise to you, you guys subscribe, I'll keep giving you the best free content on classic motorcycles I can possibly come up with. I spent the last 15 years of my life doing this 364.5 days a year. And that's all I ask. It's free, and it would help us grow the channel. So we got a deal. You guys subscribe, and I'll keep pumping out the great content for you. Thanks for watching, and God bless America. The Alpina was designed as a do-everything off-road motorcycle. It had the excellent chassis and handling of the Bultaco Sherpa T Trials bike with a larger fuel tank, a much more comfortable seat, a wider ratio gearbox for trail riding, and lights and equipment that made it practical for trail and enduro use in many markets. Billy had mentioned to me earlier that it also had a longer swing arm, and the rake and trail was more relaxed so that it would be a better ride on the road. With the wide ratio transmission doing 55, makes it a good dual purpose motorcycle. The 350 version uses Bultaco's legendary air-cooled 2-stroke single. It was a 325cc. They called it a 350, and had a lightweight chromoly frame. Weighs about 225 pounds, which is light even by today's standards. And this bike was based on the Bultaco Sherpa T, which won numerous world trials championships with legendary rider Sammy Miller, and helped revolutionize trials riding. Also, there's a lot of the Bultaco Persang DNA in this bike, which won countless national motocross championships around the world. Bultaco machines were extremely successful in international 6-day trials competition and many national enduros. The Alpina inherited much of that engineering, but it was designed for recreational trail riding rather than professional racing. So super highly collectible today. I told you there was about 1,000 of them introduced to the US out of the 2,400 they made. Very easy to ride, easy to start, handles excellent, mechanically simple, and shares many parts with the Sherpa T and Persangs. So collectors often say it's one of the most enjoyable vintage bikes to actually ride instead of simply display. And Billy and I were talking about that earlier. This bike is from the Barry Lamb collection out of Florida. You might remember, literally was over 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, March, that I purchased this bike from him. And when we got it, it was part of his collection stored indoors in his heated air-conditioned space. It only had 350 original miles on it. The engine compression was perfect. The piston cylinder under a borescope inspection, everything looked great. The compression was perfect. So, but it had been sitting for decades. So we bought it from him, shipped it up from Florida, and gave it a comprehensive frame-off restoration where every nut, every bolt, every piece of this bike was gone through. Starting off with the chassis. That was sent out and professionally powder coated the original Bultaco silver. The tank was sent to our local painter who did the alpine blue and the yellow pinstripe and the silver. The decals were replaced, the one on the tank and the two on the sides, the Alpina decal. And Bill Kelly, who I've known since I was about 15 years old, we worked together at New England Cycle Sales in 1980. in 84. He just retired recently, but this was like the last bike that he finished with us. He worked on this bike for about a year and a half on and off, waiting for parts, and everything was done on the bike. The total hours that he has into it, I've got the work order here. I think it was 62 and a half hours of labor, shop labor, but it was over the course of a year and a half. So it may have been considerably more than that, but that's his best guesstimate. In fact, everything was gone through on the bike. I mentioned the frame, the tank. He also ordered 2 new fenders for it. The front and rear stainless fenders were ordered. He ordered a new taillight for it. He ordered a new headlight and mounting brackets for it. If you look at all the running gear here, everything's brand new. The original bars were replaced with a new set of chrome bars, new levers, new cables, new grips. The throttle is in brand new condition. That's the original throttle. And all new cables, new headlight. And the forks, as you can see, the fork chrome on the forks is perfect. There's no pitting. It's in absolutely perfect condition. He did put new fork rubbers on here. And the fork lowers were professionally polished. It has fresh oil in it. And you can see quite a bit of detail work was done, including the side of the wheels were professionally polished, machine polished. It has a brand new tire, brand new tube. The front brakes were gone through, serviced. You can see the hub was vapor honed and then repainted the original color. So the whole front end was completely restored. The bearings were greased and lubed. So the entire front end is completely rebuilt. Same thing with the rear end. He also bought a brand new B-Tor set of B-Tor shocks were the correct brand, original brand spanking new. So it handles like brand new. And it has these brand new trials tires with the hairy nubs on them still front and back. The rear rim was also restored with the polished aluminum. The hub was restored. It has a brand new gold chain on there. You can see that the brake pads are all the way out to the farthest point. Even the original chain guide and a chain tensioner is in mint shape. Billy had pointed out, if you look at the frame rails earlier, if this was ridden or as a trials bike or raced off-road, it would be all dented, but the underside of the chassis is absolutely pristine. Like this thing had been ridden through grassy fields and mostly on the street. So excellent candidate for a full frame off restoration. And, you know, we pick our bikes wisely, because when you put 62 hours of shop labor in a bike at $150 an hour shop rate and $2,300 in parts and a $750 paint job, you're going to have $12,825.62. Ask me how I know. I did the math, invested. That's exactly without tax. And we shipped it from Florida and we bought it from Barry. So it's substantially a huge investment to restore one of these to this level, to do a frame off restoration. So we want to choose our bikes wisely. This is a super rare model. The original cycle parts were all in excellent condition. Not perfect, but in excellent condition. The frame was perfectly straight. The pegs, the brake lever, the original shifter, pegs, everything was in good condition. Bill did upgrade the silencer to a Skyway silencer. He found a period correct. That's not a rehab or a repop. It's an actual original Skyway from 55-year-old Skyway silencer he found, which was a nice upgrade. And all the other parts that I had mentioned. The engine checked out perfect. The top end didn't need anything. He did replace the ignition with a brand new modern electronic ignition, and while the engine was out, you can see the engine cases were beautifully restored, sanded and polished, and painted in the Bultaco logo on the side there. The head pipe was professionally polished. The exhaust was painted. Everything was got. Every nut and bolt, the airbox, every single nut and bolt on this bike was addressed in some way, shape, or form. The cylinder head was painted. The cylinder head was polished, and the jug, the cylinder jug was painted. If you come around this side, you'll see the beautiful polishing work that's been done on this side of the engine also. So major investment. We put more into it substantially, $12,800 plus shipping to Florida. That's now we're in there for $13,400 plus the cost of the bike. We probably have 50% more into the bike than it's worth, but we own the motorcycle museum. We put $8 million into an abandoned factory, which is probably worth a fraction of that. So I have what do they say? Insanity is repeating the same thing over and over. I don't know why I keep doing it, but I keep on putting, I think I know what it is. It's a labor of love. And when a guy like Bill, who I've worked with for on and off for almost 50 years, wants to do a project like this or gets into it, there's no point in half step there's a saying that says half steps will avail you nothing. And that's how we look at it. So we take them as far as humanly possible. And sometimes we put substantially more into one than it may be worth. So you're better off buying one restored like this than trying to buy one from a guy like Barry and shipping it up to Florida and doing a frame off resto for sure. We left the original seat cover on it because, well, it was in good condition. It wasn't ripped. You can see the original foam underneath it is a little lumpy, but that's the original 50-year-old foam. The bike's not perfect, but it's as close as we could get without having, you know, too much, well, ridiculously too much invested into it. The seat cover is available from Hughes Bultaco for $100, and the foam is available if you want to redo that. But we had to draw a line in the sand somewhere. I might have left a few things out. Billy, what are your thoughts about this classic Bultaco Alpina? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, as you were saying, Ken, it's a perfect candidate for a frame-off restoration. It's got no dents in the skid plate underneath, no dents in the frame. The foot pegs are almost like new, and it just shows that it's a Florida bike. If you rode this bike in New England, it would be dented up on the bottom because there's a lot of rocks and whatnot. And these bikes were used hard in New England. And ridden in enduros and, you know, really roughed up. This one here hasn't had that kind of abuse. You know, the Skyway silencer you mentioned, that's a period upgrade. And that was something that a lot of Bultaco guys did back then. The engine tone is better with that. It just has a nice little bit of a bark to it. I love the quality of the Bultaco, you know, and if you notice, the hardware is stamped Bultaco. It's actually made right into the bolts and also the fork caps. You know, they're proud of their brand. And they're shouting their name out everywhere. This model, Alpina, is, from what I was told years and years ago, it was Senior Ignacio Bulto's favorite model of his own line. So he would ride these, and we've got a picture of him in an advertisement riding down a stream bed with his checkered hat. It looked like he's happy as a clam. This one here, it's in excellent condition. Like Ken was mentioning, it's got a wide ratio gearbox, a longer swing arm, and a little more relaxed handling, so that it can go quickly down the road. You could ride this bike at 50 on the highway and no problem at all. And it goes very well in the woods. Very good low range, mid-range power, and down below. Pulls like a freight train. And yeah, it's got the stock original handlebars, which I really love. Yeah, those really wide bars, that was typical of the period. And this bike is a numbers matching machine. So the frame and engine are exactly the same. They were put together in 1972. This is an early Alpina, one of the first of the 350 Bultacos. So it's in excellent condition. We've taken a few liberties in the restoration here, but not many. You know, the front fender's a little different than the stock, but it is an aluminum front fender and beautifully ribbed on the edge. You know, that's typical of Bultaco to have that. Starts first kick, idles, does everything properly. Rides like a dream.
Bill had also mentioned he installed an Electrix lighting coil and put a new wiring harness on it for the headlamp, tail lamp. So he's got all that dialed in. It's a 6-volt system, and it's ready to go. Brand new lighting coil. I think we covered pretty much most of it.
I do know a fellow that rode one of these in the early 70s in enduros, and he won the championship in New England, which was no small feat on an Alpina. So it was a very competitive bike back in its day. And Ed Avery, that fellow, took that same bike and he would come and ride the trials in New England as well. So he made it work for him in both, you know, completely opposite sports really. But it's such a versatile machine, you could ride it in both. And he made it happen. He was the one guy I saw do it, and was with some really good success. Fantastic bike. And this is a great green lane bike, you know, putting along nice and quietly, you know, very, very mild-mannered motorcycle.
Yeah, the cycle parts on the bike are besides the bars, the fenders, and the expendables like the tires and chain and that, they're all original exhaust, original and matching numbers, engine and frame, which is important. Very low original miles, original engine. It didn't need to be rebuilt. Very low miles. He did totally restore the carburetor and the intake system. and the air box, that was all redone, new air filter, and fresh oil. But the engine has never been worn out. It's still a low mile survivor. So if you have any questions about this beautiful classic, it'll be on display here in the New England Motorcycle Museum. We're going to have a reserve on it. That's probably about half what we have invested in the parts and labor and the purchase price and shipping. So rest assured, it's an excellent value. It can't be duplicated. There's no way you could buy one of these for $2,000 or $3,000 and powder coat the frame and restore the entire bike and put $2,300 in parts. It ain't going to happen. So for what you can buy this for. So it'll be on our website at www.kaplancycles.com with a bunch of high-res photos. You can call us anytime. My son, Ken Jr., will hook you up, take care of shipping it right to your door, wherever you are in the continental U.S. So buy with confidence. This one's thoroughly sorted out. Starts first kick very easily, and it's a joy to ride. Any other things you'd like to mention about it, Pooh?
I wish I could take it home with myself. I just love this bike. You know, it rides so beautifully. And the fact that it shifts on the right foot, it's very period European. It's definitely a lovely machine with no excuses.
Looks awfully good in the sunlight, doesn't it? The sun shining off them rims. Don't hesitate, guys. There's only one, and we won't be building another one of these anytime soon. I don't have any in stock. In the 15 years we've been doing this, we've done quite a few Bultacos, but only a couple of Alpinas. It's a super rare piece. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.